Yeah. So Friday night game, senior appreciation night. A lot of great players on this team we're going to honor, and chance to play a team that beat us pretty soundly last year. It's just another opportunity for us to play at home and work on improving. And so a little bit different schedule during the week. Obviously, some adjustments that had to be made, but nothing that really throws us off our routine or our schedule. So I think our guys, are excited to play again after, Saturday's game, going in and looking at it yesterday, and just trying to, put into action some of the corrections we need to make to be a better team this Friday night.
Obviously, Georgia State has a lot of new faces, new coach and everything. Just preparing for them, I guess, how different are they this year versus last year?
They're not that different, but you're right. They have a lot of different players, a lot of new guys, but they've got some returners and they added some transfers. I think they have some things they do on offense that, they're explosive. Defensively, they make a lot of plays with the ball in the air, a lot of interceptions. They play hard up front. They made a switch at quarterback, and this guy's been really, really effective throwing the ball, and he can extend plays. They've got receivers that can make plays in the pass game. They're physical up front in the run, and with their offensive line, their running backs are explosive guys, and then defensively, they play aggressive. I'm really impressed with their defensive line, the way they get up the field and attack gaps, and the way their linebackers come downhill. And then, like I said, their secondary is a lot of ball hawks. So it's just another great challenge for us. It's like every week. Every week's a challenge. And once again, I'll tell you, we don't look at the record. We look at the film, and it's what we see on film. And I see a really good football team and a team that beat us soundly last year.
Jim, what's your message to the seniors, the guys that are playing their last home game, and especially the guys who've been here a while and stuck things out here through good times and bad?
My message this week, Tom, quite frankly, is senior night's great, and it's great for your parents, but our focus is on winning the football game. We still have a lot of work to do. If this was the last game of the season, I think it would be different, right? But we have 3 to go after this, and so it just changes the way you approach it. It doesn't seem final, and I don't want them to feel that. I'm sure there'll be some emotion, there'll be some tears out of moms, but the players need to stay focused on what's happening after that little ceremony. Because unlike some of these other sports that can have the give out the jerseys, and we get 12 shots. We get 12 shots to play. And it's a physical, violent game. And if your mind's not right, you have a chance not only to lose, but to get hurt. So football is different than all those other sports when it comes to the senior appreciation night. As a matter of fact, I wish that we didn't have it and that we could just honor them at our end-of-year banquet. That would make more sense to me. But I don't know that would go over well with the moms. So we'll just keep having senior appreciation night.
Chase makes his team-high 45th start in this game. You've had him for 3 years. How do you see his improvement in all parts of this game?
He's just become very consistent as a football player, very dependable. You can count on him to work hard every day. You can count on him to have a great attitude. I can count on him in meetings. You're standing in a meeting, you're talking to a team, and sometimes you're looking for affirmation that people are understanding what you're saying, and Chase is the shake your head guy. So whenever I'm like, am I getting through, I just look at Chase and he shakes his head and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing okay, So he's such a great person. He's a great human being. Just been fortunate to spend this time with him, and excited for the next 4 weeks.
Sometimes in basketball, when you're in a slump, you just need to go to the foul line and see a shot go in. Can it be like that for a running game? I mean, when all of a sudden you break one big run, is there just a different adrenaline or attention to detail? Yes, we can do it.
Yeah, I don't think we ever lost confidence or felt like we were in a slump running the ball. I don't think we ever felt like it. I mean, sure, it appeared like it, and statistically it looked like it, but I don't think our attitude was ever in a slump. But to answer your question, yeah, I truly believe that. Yeah, I think once Darrell made that run, we broke some other runs, and we had another good run that was taken away by when Lewis Hansen drove his guy up into the stands, and got the penalty. So, the hope is that, we learned what we need to do better, and we can apply it going forward in the run game. But I think there's something to that, yeah.
Jim, what changes in your preparation when you have one less day?
We brought him in yesterday and, got that game out of the way so that this morning we could get on to Georgia State. But other than that, not a lot. You have to just emphasize the recovery aspect, refueling, taking care of your body. You still got to get the work in, and, you can't expect to practice soft and play hard, so we're going to practice hard. That's what we do. But, we don't talk about it a lot. We're a routine-oriented team, and when we get into that last 48 hours, we are like clockwork in what we do.
Were you satisfied with the play you got at left guard?
Yeah, well, we moved Chris Fortin over to left guard and played Brady at right guard. Yeah, so that's the adjustment we made. So, yes, I was fairly pleased with right guard, although we did give up that sack after the great acting job where he, flopped. Do you remember that play? Yeah. And I think Brady's a guy that'll keep getting better and better and better, and then having Kyle Juergens to rotate in there. I mean, they're good players. They're both dependable players, and Kyle's got a little more experience than Brady, but Brady's really come on, has really matured in the last 3 years. Excited about his potential as he plays more.
Because you have 3 games after this, does the 6 wins, the bowl eligibility, is that anything at all?
It will not be addressed, no.
With Nick, yes, during practice, how much time do you spend with him? Obviously, he's reading defenses and live and making plays, but how much does he really focus on those types of things?
About 2 hours and 15 minutes a day on the field and about 4 hours a day in practice. And every morning he gets up and spends 2 hours on his own watching film. So about 8 hours a day he works on that.
Is that something that your quarterbacks usually?
That's typical for, yeah. If quarterbacks don't work harder and longer than the other players on your team, they're not going to be good quarterbacks. It's a unique position. It takes more. You have to know more. You have to understand more. Nick is a developing player. I don't want to keep saying this over and over because it'll get redundant and it'll start to lose credibility, but he's still a young developing player who hasn't played a lot in college ball. He had a fantastic week of practice last week. Went out and didn't play his best game. But that doesn't mean, it's kind of like we talked about last week, that week that he had of practice isn't going to carry over and help him become a better player. So we just keep working with him and working with him and working with him, and he gets better as the games go on, which I think is a real positive sign.
The ups and downs in quarterback play, especially a young quarterback, are kind of expected, right? I mean, they need to learn things.
They need reps. That's one of those positions where you have to see it over and over again. I know when you're scouting in the NFL and you're looking at college quarterbacks, one of the things you look for is how many starts does this guy have? How many balls has he thrown? How many balls has he completed? Those are important things when you evaluate a quarterback. You want guys that there are metrics that will tell you the success rate of quarterbacks that have a certain amount of repetitions in college and their success in the pros versus guys that don't. And I don't know what the direct correlation is. I used to know, but there is a correlation there, and it's the same at this level.
You mentioned last year's game against Georgia State a couple times. How much do you bring that up to the team, this sort of motivation thing?
I don't. Don't even mention it. No. I just don't. I'm not. It doesn't matter. Like T.J. Sheffield, Skylar Bell, Easy, Shamar, Darrell, Mel, Jaden. They weren't here, and their team's a whole new team, so it just doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Although I mentioned it, I know you did. As I was giving you an answer, I realized how stupid I sounded. So.
I'll say they bring it up though, because you said it's his hometown and everything.
Yeah.
So he took it a little personal, but obviously that's just his hometown, a little bit of connection.
Maybe for the Georgia kids, maybe it has significance. But I've found the best thing for us to do is just focus on preparing the best that we can prepare. Doing the work, being detailed, creating the right mindset to go. Play our best against whoever, whenever, wherever. And I think that gives us, as a team, the best chance to have success.
Have you seen Skylar maintain a certain focus, even though things aren't always going his way? He seems to always be a threat for you guys, so it seems like he's mentally there.
Yeah, I mean, he practices really hard. He's always focused in practice. He knows his assignments. He's a willing blocker. If he gets frustrated, which I'm sure, he does, typically receivers get a little frustrated when they're not having the ball fed to him as much. He doesn't show it. He cheers on his opponents. And then when he had a chance to go make that play, he made that play, which is huge, when you're a Skylar Bell and you're averaging over 20 yards a catch, people they're gonna, find ways to try to take you away. But what's important is when they don't have the right coverage dialed up and you do get a one-on-one, that you have a chance to go win, which he did the other night.
When you lost Jackson Mitchell last year, I know I questioned, well, geez, what are they going to do at linebacker now? He's such a huge presence, but you seem to have filled that void incredibly well. Can you just talk about this linebacker group and how well they're playing?
Yeah, well, the first thing is the development of Tui. He's the 2-year starter now, and he got to play with Jackson last year. And he's been around here for a while, and he's been developing and getting bigger and getting faster and getting stronger and getting reps. And he's really become a good football player for us this year, a really good football player. And then when you bring in a guy like Jaden McDonald, who has a ton of snaps and has a ton of tackles and has played in really good defenses, that gives you, and he learns your system, and it kind of fits his. It fits his skill set. You're going to expect production, and those two guys have been very, very productive. And they have complementary styles of play, and they're both very intelligent. They both work very hard, and that experience is something that's been very important for us.
Can they both play at the next level?
Yeah, I think they can. I think they have a chance. I mean, it's hard to play at the next level. I mean, I don't think people have an understanding of just what it takes to play in the National Football League. I mean, it's hard, And but yeah, I would hope that if they get the opportunity, then they just got to make the most of it. And I will be sure to make sure they get the opportunity.
You mentioned that Jaden fits this 3-3-5 defense really well. Was he brought in as a transfer before Matt Brock was hired, or when did that timing all fall into place?
Jaden came after. Well, we recruited. He went in the portal, in the initial portal window. He went in, and we recruited him, and he actually came in for a visit, and he just hit it off really well. But then Indiana came in with a pretty big number, and they were transitioning staffs, and he went there, and then it didn't work out the way he wanted it to during the spring, and so he re-entered the portal, and we had a relationship going, and got him here. So Matt had something to do. We knew we weren't going to take him if he didn't fit what we wanted to do, and Matt really liked him. So okay.
When Price was injured, and every now and then we wonder if he was about ready to come, your other defensive guys would say, man, just wait till Price Yates gets here. We're doing pretty well, but wait till he gets here. Why? What does he bring that's different or just high level?
From an athleticism standpoint, he's explosive. He's a quick twitch guy. He's violent with his hands. He can get off blocks. He runs really, really well. He's highly intelligent as a football player and as a person. He's got a great motor. He goes hard all the time. He's got a lot of versatility to do a lot of different things. He can drop into coverage if you need him to. He's a good pass rusher. He plays the run well. He can play multiple positions on the defensive line. And then, with your defensive line, I think it's the toughest position from like a physically demanding standpoint to play on the football field. You're taking on these big guys that are double teaming you and trying to roll you out of there, and every play is just like a wrestling match, full speed, full contact wrestling match. And so having another body in there that's a really good player gives us a chance to rest some guys. You'd like your defensive line to play less than 50 snaps a game. And so having a guy like Price gives us a chance to give some other guys a break. And the rotation's been good up there. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good day. Thanks for coming out on Monday. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, I'll be right there.